Welcome back to Yamcha Therapy, and this is a follow-up episode from the last episode, and I would like to go deeper in every single aspect of it. So let's kick up the notch by diving into the real nitty-gritty of how the unconscious shows up in daily life. Think about this. Have you ever found yourself in an argument where you react way out of proportion to what's happening? Like your partner forgets to text and suddenly you're spiraling into nobody cares about me, those type of territory. That's your unconscious stepping into the driver's seat, pulling old wounds into the present. Freud's idea of the unconscious wasn't just some hidden box of weird dreams and suppressed desires. It's more like the behind-the-scene crew of a movie, controlling the lighting, sound, and set design without you even noticing. Modern neuroscience backed this up with research on implicit memory, which stores emotional experience outside of our conscious awareness. For instance, if you had a caregiver who was inconsistent, you might unconsciously expect the same from partners, even if you don't logically believe it. Alright, so remember splitting? It's that all good or bad way of thinking Klein highlighted. Well, it doesn't just stop after childhood. Think about social media. Isn't it just a digital playground for splitting? People are either cancelled or icons. There's no room for nuance. This kind of thinking is also why arguments escalate so quickly. Someone forgets to take out the trash and suddenly they're the worst roommate ever. Understanding splitting helps us to step back and say, wait, am I looking at this situation in extremes? It's like holding a mirror up to your emotional responses and asking yourself if there's more to the story. Let's go deeper into attachment styles. Picture this. You're on a date and things are going well. Then, suddenly, the person you're seeing stops responding. Ghosted. What's happening here? Psychodynamic theory would look at how their attachment style might play a role. Someone avoidantly attached might withdraw because the emotional closeness feels threatening, even if they like you. But here's the kicker. Understanding this isn't just about diagnosing other, it's about looking inward. Why does being ghosted sting so much? Is it triggering an old fear of abandonment? When we can identify these patterns, we're no longer at their mercy. Here's a thought. What would Fred say about Instagram? He'd probably call it a giant superego machine, my guess, where we all create idealized version of ourselves to win approval. But it's not just about vanity, it's about how we internalize social expectations. The pressure to present a perfect life online can trigger feeling of inadequacy, even though we know those filtered snapshots aren't real life. Recognizing this dynamic gives us a choice. Do we want to keep feeding the superego by chasing likes, or can we tune into authentic selves and find validation from within? Here's where psychodynamic therapy really shines. Imagine you're in therapy and you find yourself feeling irritated at your therapist for no apparent reason. That transference, your unconscious projecting feeling about someone else, a parent, an ex, a friend, onto your therapist. But here's the magic. A good therapist will help you unpack this. It's like holding a magnifying glass to your emotional patterns. And once you see them, you can start breaking free from repeating cycles in your other relationships. In today's diverse world, psychodynamic theory is stretching includes perspective it once ignored. For example, what happens when someone grows up in a collective culture where the self isn't the central focus? Traditionally, psychodynamic models might not fully resonate. Modern therapists are adapting by incorporating cultural narrative into their work. An example, say someone feels torn between pursuing their dreams and meeting family expectations. A psychodynamic lens can explore how internalized cultural values shape their unconscious conflict. It's about understanding the whole person, not just their individual psyche. Here's where things really get exciting. Science is catching up to Freud. Studies on the default mode, network, and emotional memory show that the brain has its own way of processing the unconscious. For example, when you're daydreaming, your mind is likely revisiting unresolved emotional experience, kind of like an impromptu therapy session. There's also research on neuroplasticity showing that the brain can rewire itself even into adulthood. This means the patterned psychodynamic therapy helps you uncover aren't set in stone. With time and effort, they can be reshaped, leading to healthier ways of thinking and relating. At the end of the day, psychodynamic theory isn't about digging up your deepest, darkest secrets just for the sake of it. It's about liberation, helping you understand the why behind your behaviors so you can make conscious choices. Whether it's understanding why you push people away when they get too close, or why certain situations trigger anxiety, psychodynamic theory offers tools for self-awareness and growth. It's not just a relic of the past, it's a compass for navigating the complex of modern life. Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. I hope you enjoy the extended version from last week and hope to see you next week. See you next week and have a great week ahead.